Mira sat alone on the edge of the observation deck. High above Earth, the stars stretched forever in front of her, but her heart felt small. She pulled her knees to her chest and stared at the quiet emptiness beyond the glass. It had been 5 years since Jace left. They had grown up together in the underground cities of old Earth, built deep below the surface to escape the radiation and storms. Back then, they'd laughed under dim artificial lights, shared rations, and told stories about what the stars used to look like before the world changed. But everything changed when Jace was chosen for the Lunar Fleet program. "I'll send messages," he'd promised. "I'll be back before you know it." At first, he did write short notes, small jokes, even drawings. But the messages came less and less until they stopped completely 2 years ago. Rira had sent a dozen replies, maybe more, and none ever came. Back now, Jace was gonna somewhere out there. Maybe flying a secret ship, maybe lost in the stars, maybe... He had moved on. Mira didn't want to believe that. Earth had been quiet, or had been quiet for decades, forgotten by the galaxy. The last known human colony disappeared before Myra was even born. Aliens believed Earth was long dead. But deep below, humans had survived. They had rebuilt. Quietly, carefully, secretly. Mira was part of that hope. She was an engineer trainee, now helping design signal boosters for the hidden Warfleet. But even among people, she felt alone. Every time she looked at the stars, she thought of Jace. One evening, after her shift, she walked to the long-range signal room. It was supposed to be locked, but she still had her old access code from her. In turn days, she slipped inside. The room hummed softly. Screens glowed with star maps and transmission logs. No one else was there. Mira walked to a small terminal. She knew it was against protocol. Messages from Earth weren't allowed to leave. The system without Fleet Command's permission. But this wasn't about orders. This was about trying to feel close to someone. She missed more than anything. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. Then she typed, "Hi, Jace. I don't know if this will reach you. I don't even know if you're still out there. I miss you. Earth is different now. We're rising again. I'm working on the fleet you always dreamed of. You were right. We weren't meant to stay hidden forever. I hope you remember me. I remember you every day." She paused, then added, "If you're still out there, ... please write back." Mira hit send. The message vanished into deep space, carried by an encrypted beam designed for speed. It could reach the edge of the system and ours, but who knew where Jace was now? Maybe he'd see it. Maybe he wouldn't. But for the first time in years, Myra didn't feel helpless. She felt human, brave, full of the same fire that had kept Earth alive. All this time, the next morning she returned to work like nothing happened. She smiled more that day. She helped a younger trainee fix a capacitor. She even laughed at a joke during the lunch break. She still missed Jace, but now that feeling wasn't only sadness. It was hope. Late that night, her datapad blinked. One new message received, origin unknown. Her hands shook as she tapped the screen. "Mira, is this really you? I read your message. I can't believe it. I thought I'd never hear from Earth again. I didn't stop thinking about you, I just couldn't reach back. I'm on a deep recon ship. We're coming home soon. Wait for me." Jasir's filled Mira's eyes. She laughed, holding the datapad close. They had found each other again. Earth wasn't alone anymore, and neither was she. Asterisk Rion stood on the edge of the space elevator platform, watching the ships fly in the distance. His uniform was clean, his boots polished, but his heart felt heavy. The stars looked peaceful, but inside he felt restless, empty. Lena had left Earth 3 years ago. She was a top pilot, strong and fearless. When Earth's hidden Warfleet began final testing near Jupiter, she was one of the first chosen to join the elite. Rion had been proud of her, but he never told her how he really felt. They were best friends since training camp, always laughing, always together. They did shared meals, long walks, and dreams about the stars. He had wanted to say something more than friendship, but every time he tried, fear held him back. Then she was gone. She had promised to keep in touch, but the fleet went radio silent. It was part of the protocol: no contact, no leaks total. Secrecy. Rian understood. Still, his heart didn't stop aching. Every time a shuttle passed overhead, he looked up, wondering if Lena was inside. He listened for her name during fleet updates. He never heard it. He missed her voice, her laugh, her stubbornness, even her silly way of tying her hair when she was focused. Now he worked at Orbital Command as a communications officer. Every day he sent orders and read reports from outposts and stations. He saw the growth of the new human fleet ships rising from dry docks, new tech being tested, plans moving forward. Earth was returning to the stars, but Rian, he felt stuck. One quiet evening, Rian sat in the break room alone. Outside the window, Earth glowed softly in blue and white. He took out his old tablet, the one he used during training. On it were pictures of him and Lena, smiling at graduation. Sitting side by side during night patrol, a blurry one where she had playfully pushed him into a fountain. He swiped through them slowly, heart aching. "I should have told you," he whispered to the stars. "I should have said it." How do you send a message into the silence? Suddenly, his shift alarm buzzed. He rushed back to the console. Something unusual was happening. An unknown signal had arrived, heavily encrypted. No origin ID, no ship name. He almost ignored it. But something made him stop. The encryption key was a pattern he recognized. It was one Lena had once designed during a mock drill. A joke between them. His heart skipped. Quickly decrypted the message. "Rian, I don't know if this will get through. I miss Earth. I miss you. I'm on patrol near the Ewart belt. Can't stay long. Just wanted to say, you were always important to me. I hope you're okay. I think about you every night." Lena, he froze. It was her, she remembered. He stared at the screen, tears welling in his eyes. Then he smiled, slowly but fully. He started typing back. "Lena, I'm here. I've been waiting. I thought I lost you. Earth's rising again. We're stronger than ever. But without you, something was always missing. Please write back when you can. I never said it, but I care. I always did." He sent it. A moment later, a second message arrived. "I knew you'd reply. I'm coming back soon. Earth needs its fleet, but I need my friend too. Save a spot on the platform for me," he laughed. For the first time in years, Rian felt light again. Whole Earth wasn't just building ships. It was building bridge between people, between hearts, between stars. And even in the silence of space, the human spirit still reached out with hope. "You said part 3? Write a 800-word story in simple English about someone feeling distant from a person they care about who moved away. The character feels sad and wants to reconnect, but doesn't know how. The story should show their HFY," and HopeChatGPT said. Part 3 title, "The Galaxy Believed We Were." Extinct until Earth's secret war fleet emerged from hyperspace. A word count. 800 style. Simple English, third person, emotional. HFY and hopeful Talia walked through the quiet halls of the Mars Research Dome. The soft hum of machines echoed off the red metal walls. Outside the dome's clear panels, the red dust of Mars blew softly across the rocky land. It was beautiful, but lonely. She missed her brother Theo. They had always been close, even after their parents passed. Theo was older, calm, and smart. He used to make her laugh when the lights flickered during power shortages in the Earth's shelters. He always said, "Don't worry, Talia. We're humans. We fix things. We survive." When Theo was chosen to join the secret Starship program, Talia was proud. He promised he'd come back soon, once Earth was ready to step out of hiding. That was 4 years ago. Now, Talia was a scientist, helping to grow food on Mars for Earth's deep space fleet. Her days were full of tests, measurements, and plant samples. Her nights were full of silence. She had sent messages, no answers. Theo had always been her hero. But now she felt like he had vanished, like maybe he had changed or forgotten. One day, after her work shift, Talia walked into the small greenhouse. It was quiet and warm inside. Rows of green plants stretched in perfect lines, their leaves glowing softly under blue lights. She sat down between 2 rows of tomatoes and closed her eyes. She remembered the last thing he had said. "When you look at the stars, think of me. I'll be thinking of you too." Talia opened her eyes and looked up at the small patch of night sky above the greenhouse. "I still think of you, Theo," she whispered. She felt tears in her eyes but wiped them away quickly. She was human strong, determined, just like he taught her to be. Later that evening, she was asked to run diagnostics on an old communication array. It was mostly routine, checking if the satellites still worked. As she scanned the logs, something strange appeared, a signal, faint but clear. It was coming from deep space. She paused. It wasn't a command signal. It wasn't standard code. It was music. A song. She played it. The melody was soft, familiar. It was the old Earth lullaby Theo used to sing to her when they were young. No one else would know that tune. No one but him. Her heart pounded. She opened the raw signal log. At the end of the song was a short voice message. The voice was shaky, slightly distorted, but she knew it. "Talia, I hope this reaches you. I miss you. I never forgot. The stars are cold." Rain fell softly on Maya's rooftop as she sat near the signal dish, holding her cumpad close. The water made quiet tapping sounds on the metal panels, and small puddles formed under her shoes. She didn't care about getting wet. She was thinking of Kara again. The quantum link had worked for weeks, but now the signal had gone silent. At first, she thought it was a small glitch, but days passed. No reply, no message, just silence. She stared at the last message Kara had sent. "Storm approaching. We may lose contact for a bit, don't worry. I'll reach out when I can." That had been 11 days ago. Maya felt a deep sadness in her chest. Kara had always been strong, the kind of person who found beauty in dusty rocks and lonely stars. But Phobos was a small and dangerous place. Something had happened. Maya shook her head. She refused to believe it. She had to stay strong. That was the human way to keep going, to find light even in the dark. Still, silence hurt. That evening, Maya went back to her workshop. The light flickered above her desk. Blueprints covered one wall. The quantum device still blinked quietly. Waiting, she tapped the cumpad again. No response. Her eyes burned, and she leaned her head on her arms. "There has to be a way," she whispered. The next morning, Maya visited her old university lab. Professor Lin, her former teacher, welcomed her with warm tea and curious eyes. "Still working on long-distance communication, Maya?" Maya nodded. "But this time, it's not just for science. It's for someone I care about. She's on Phobos. I think something happened, and I need to reach her." Professor Lin listened carefully. Then she said, "Have you ever considered using the Aurora beacons?" Maya blinked. "Those are just test satellites. They're old, slow, and barely stable." Lin smiled. "Yes, but they bounce light across space. With the right timing, you could send a visual signal like Morse code. A light in the sky. Maybe someone's watching." Maya felt a spark inside her. A light in the sky. ... That could work. Back home, she got to work. She studied the path of the beacon's small mirrors floating between planets. They weren't meant for messaging, but they still moved in perfect patterns. Maya calculated when one would pass between Earth and Phobos. She had only a short window, 92 seconds, enough to send a message. If Kara was watching, maybe she would see it. Maya used her rooftop dish to power a powerful beam of light. Not just any light, she programmed it to pulse in a simple pattern. "I miss you. I'm here." She sent the message once, then again. Her heart pounded each time the beam flickered into the sky. That night, Maya stayed up late watching the stars. Nothing changed. The next night, she tried again. Still nothing. She repeated it a third time. Her hope began to fade. Maybe Kara wasn't watching. Maybe the storm was worse than she thought. But even then, Maya didn't stop. On the fourth night, just as she was about to shut down the beam, her compad buzzed. The quantum device blinked. A weak, shaky signal came through. The image was blurry, but it was Kara. Her face was pale, and her voice was quiet. "I saw the light," she said. "I wasn't sure if I was dreaming. The storm damaged everything, power's low. I fixed the antenna just enough. Maya, I'm okay." Maya covered her mouth and sobbed with joy. Kara smiled faintly. "Reached me, across space, with light." "I would have tried forever," Maya said. "I just needed to know you were out there." Kara laughed softly. "That's humanity, isn't it? You build a light when the dark gets too big." They spoke for a few more minutes before the signal dropped again. But this time, the silence didn't feel so heavy. Kara was alive. She was safe. And she had seen Maya's message. In the days that followed, the connections slowly improved. Maya built a stronger light array and shared her beacon system with other engineers. Soon, small pulses of light began appearing between other stations and ships. Messages of hope, comfort, love, and friendship. All thanks to Maya's determination. Galaxy was big, but humanity was bigger at heart. One night, standing on her rooftop again, Maya looked up at the stars. She smiled as she saw a gentle flicker in the sky, a message from Kara. Shining like a star just for her, it read, "Still here, still with you." And that was enough. HFY humanity, in the face of distance and silence, always finds a way. Jason sat at the edge of the launch platform, legs swinging over the side, staring at the quiet shuttle yard. The sun had just set, and everything was painted in soft purples and oranges. Training was over for the day, but he didn't want to go back to the dorm yet. His thoughts were too loud. Tomorrow was Fleet Letter Day. Students would receive a short message from someone in the outer stations, usually a mentor, a friend, or a family member. It was a tradition between Earth trainees and those already posted in space. Everyone looked forward to it, except Jason. He had no idea if he'd get anything. He had written to Maya weeks ago, sent a drone with a message. Still no reply. He had stopped checking his inbox every hour. Now he checked once a day, then once every 2 days, then once a week. The silence was heavy, like a missing piece. In his chest, he still missed her. Not just the way she used to laugh at his terrible jokes, or how she always knew when something was wrong. He missed feeling connected. He missed being seen. He looked beside him at the empty spot on the platform. That was where Maya used to sit. During their school days, they'd come here after class, share snacks, talk about stars, dreams, and everything in between. Now, that space was just ... empty. "I'm still here," he whispered. The next morning, the letter ceremony began. Students gathered in the courtyard. The academy's head instructor stood by the podium and read out names one by one, handing each a message chip. Laughter, cheers, and excited whispers filled the air. Jason stood near the back, trying not to hope. Cadet Lena Vasquez, message from her sister on Mars Station. Cadet Kinjao, message from Commander Reeker. Orbit Command. One by one, his friends were called. Then the instructor paused. Cadet Jason Lee. "Up, no message this week. But keep your head up, cadet. Sometimes stars take longer to answer." There was a gentle murmur around him. Some looked at him with sympathy. Jason nodded quietly and left the crowd. He walked to the workshop and sat at his usual bench. The room was empty. He turned on a small engine model and listened to it hum. He closed his eyes and let the sound carry his thoughts far away. Part of him felt like giving up. Like maybe Maya had changed. Maybe he didn't matter anymore. But another part, quiet but steady, kept whispering, "Don't stop. You don't need a reply to keep caring." He opened his journal and started writing. "I didn't get your message today, Maya, but that's okay. Because I still remember everything you taught me. Like how we build bridges through silence. Like how we stay kind, even when we feel forgotten. And how humanity always tries again. I'm still trying." He stopped and smiled softly. Later that day, while walking past the Academy's central terminal, Something caught his eye on a small public news screen. The headline read, Cadet Maya Singh, awarded pilot star for emergency landing on Europa. Jason froze. He leaned closer, eyes scanning the words. Last week, during a supply run on Europa, Cadet Maya Singh successfully landed a damaged training ship during a snowstorm. All crew survived. Communications were down for 4 days. She is currently recovering in Station Medbay, expected to return to duty soon. Jason let out a slow breath. So that's why she hadn't replied. She hadn't ignored him. She had been fighting to survive. Suddenly everything felt different. The silence wasn't empty. It was full of effort, struggle, and courage. She hadn't forgotten him. She had just been doing exactly what they had always promised each other they would do. Keep going, no matter what. Jason sat down on the nearest bench and smiled. He didn't feel distant anymore. Even though they were still far apart, he understood now. The bond they shared wasn't broken. It had just been quiet for a while. He pulled out his pad and typed, I saw the news. I'm so proud of you, Maya. You're the strongest person I know. Don't worry about not writing. Just focus on healing. When you're ready, I'll still be here. Always. He hit send. Then, standing under the open sky, Jason whispered to the stars, I'll keep the seat warm for you. Because HFY wasn't just about winning battles or building big ships. It was about staying human, loving, hoping, and holding on. Even when the person you cared about was light years away. Jason sat at the edge of the launch platform, legs swinging over the side, staring at the quiet shuttle yard. The sun had just set, and everything was painted in soft purples and oranges. Training was over for the day, but he didn't want to go back to the dorm yet. His thoughts were too loud. Tomorrow was Fleet Letter Day. Students would receive a short message from someone in the outer stations, usually a mentor, a friend, or a family member. It was a tradition between Earth trainees and those already posted in space. Everyone looked forward to it, except Jason. Had no idea if he'd get anything. He had written to Maya weeks ago, sent a drone with a message, still no reply. He had stopped checking his inbox every hour. Now he checked once a day, then once every 2 days. Then, once a week. The silence was heavy, like a missing piece in his chest. He still missed her. Just the way she used to laugh at his terrible jokes, or how she always knew when something was wrong. He missed feeling connected. He missed being seen. He looked beside him at the empty spot on the platform. That was where Maya used to sit. During their school days, they'd come here after class, share snacks, talk about stars, dreams, and everything in between. That space was just empty. I'm still here, he whispered. The next morning, the letter ceremony began. Students gathered in the courtyard. The academy's head instructor stood by the podium and read out names one by one, handing each a message chip. Laughter, cheers, and excited whispers filled the air. Jason stood near the back, trying not to. Hope Cadet Lena Vasquez. Message from her sister on Mars Station. Cadet Ken Zhao. Message from Commander Ricker. Orbit Command. One by one, his friends were called. Then the instructor paused. Cadet Jason Lee. Jason looked up. No message this week. Keep your head up, Cadet. Sometimes stars take longer to answer. There was a gentle murmur around him. Some looked at him with sympathy. Others looked away. Jason nodded quietly and left the crowd. He walked to the workshop and sat at his usual bench. The room was empty. He turned on a small engine model and listened to it hum. He closed his eyes and let the sound carry his thoughts far away. Part of him felt like giving up, like maybe Maya had changed. Maybe he didn't matter anymore. But another part, quiet but steady, kept whispering, "Don't stop. You don't need a reply to keep caring." He opened his journal and started writing. I didn't get your message today, Maya, but that's okay, because I still remember everything you taught me, like how we build bridges through silence, like how we stay kind even when we feel forgotten, and how humanity always tries again. I'm still trying. He stopped and smiled softly. Later that day, while walking past the Academy's central terminal, something caught his small public news screen. The headline read, Cadet Maya Singh awarded pilot star for emergency. Landing on Europa, Jason froze. He leaned closer, eyes scanning the words. Last week, during a supply run on Europa, Cadet Maya Singh successfully landed a damaged training ship during a snowstorm. All crew survived. Communications were down. For 4 days, she is currently recovering in Station Medbay, expected to return to duty soon. Jason let out a slow breath. So that's why she hadn't replied. She hadn't ignored him. She had been fighting to survive. Suddenly, everything felt different. The silence wasn't empty, it was full of effort, struggle, and courage. She hadn't forgotten him. She had just been doing exactly what they had always promised each other they would do. Keep going, no matter what. Jason sat down on the nearest bench and smiled. He didn't feel distant anymore. Even though they were still far apart, he understood now. The bond they shared wasn't broken. It had just been quiet for a while. He pulled out his pad and typed, "I saw the news. I'm so proud of you, Maya. You're the strongest person I know. Don't worry about not writing. Just focus on healing. When you're ready, I'll still be here. Always." He hit send. Len standing under the open sky, Jason whispered to the stars, "I'll keep the seat warm for you." Because HFY wasn't just about winning battles or building big ships. It was about staying human, loving, hoping, and holding on. Even when the person you cared about was light years away, Liam sat near the edge of the habitat dome, watching the sunrise over the Martian plains. The red sky slowly turned golden, painting everything in soft light. He hugged his knees to his chest, trying to feel a little less small. It had been 7 months since Nora left. She had been his closest friend since childhood. They grew up together in the ruins of old Earth, playing in empty train tunnels. Fixing broken tech and dreaming about the stars. She was bold, bright. The kind of person who made you believe anything was possible. When the fleet called for pilots, Nora was the first to sign up. "I'll make sure they remember us," she said. "I'll carry Earth's fire into the stars." Liam had stayed behind to help repair drones and support systems. It was important work, but it felt smaller, quieter, and without Nora. It felt lonely. She had sent him one message after her departure, a short video. Smiling through her flight helmet. "Don't disappear, Liam," she said. "You're the one who keeps me grounded." But after that, there was silence. He had sent 5 messages since then. He never stopped checking his inbox. But nothing ever came back. Sometimes late at night, he imagined her flying through unknown skies. Maybe she was too busy. Maybe she lost connection. Or maybe she forgot him. That was the thought that hurt the most. Liam stood and walked, slowly toward the repair hangar. His job was to check scout drones before they were sent to patrol the outer moons. He worked with a small team, but he mostly stayed quiet, focused on his tasks. One afternoon, while scanning the files of a returning drone, he noticed something, a tiny burst of encrypted code hidden deep inside the flight log. It wasn't part of the normal system. Curious, he opened it. The file contained a name. Nora Vale Echo Wing Patrol. His breath caught. She had left a trace. A digital footprint hidden in the system. Maybe by accident. Maybe on purpose. It wasn't much, but it was something. Liam stared at the code, heart pounding. For the first time in months, he felt close to her again. That night, he went back to his bunk and carefully encoded a small reply message. It was short, honest. "Nora, I found your signal. Hope you're okay. I miss you. I'm still here, still waiting." He didn't know if it would reach her, but he uploaded the message to the outbound drone network, attaching it to the same hidden channel. Then he waited. A week passed, 2 weeks, nothing. He began to wonder if she ever saw it. Maybe she never would, but then one morning, his personal device blinked. New message received, private channel. Liam opened it quickly. Nora's face filled the screen. Wind in her hair, sun behind her. "Liam, I got it. I can't believe. You found my trace. I hid it in the drone's return file as a test eye. Didn't know if anyone would even see it, but you did. Of course you did." She laughed, her voice a little shaky. I'm okay. Tired, but okay. Patrols are long. Days I feel like I'm just floating through silence. But then I remembered what you always said. Even in silence, we're still connected. You were right, Liam smiled, eyes wet. She hadn't forgotten. She had been holding on to. I'll send more when I can, she continued. But just knowing. You're out there. It gives me strength. Earth's rising, Liam, and we're part of it. Together, even if we're far apart. The video ended. Liam sat in the quiet room, holding the device to his chest. He didn't feel small anymore. He felt part of something bigger, something human, not just war fleets or starships, but the kind of strength that lives in memory, in love, in never giving up. Liam stood and walked outside. The Martian sky was clear, the stars beginning to show. He looked up, thinking of her flying somewhere beyond those stars, and he whispered, I'll always find your signal, because no matter how far they were, humanity had always known how to reach across the dark, through light, through code, through hope. Nova sat inside her tiny cabin aboard the Earth Fleet science vessel Horizon Seed, parked quietly beyond Saturn's rings. She looked out through the round window, watching ice chunks drift in the distance. They looked peaceful, slow, like time. Itself had stopped, but inside her chest, everything felt rushed, confused. And aching, she missed Hannah. Hannah had been her best friend, back on Earth. They were study partners, lab teammates, and everything in between. They had dreams of becoming explorers, of discovering things no one had ever seen. Hannah had always made her feel braver, more curious, more herself. Then, one day, Anna got selected early for a mission to Alpha Outpost in Earth Fleet Base Far. Beyond Pluto? It was a rare chance, a great honor. Nova had smiled and cheered for her, but when Hannah left, something inside Nova went quiet. They promised to stay in touch, but deep space missions were unpredictable. Communication was limited. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and now it had been 6 months since the last message. Nova had written dozens of times. Most went unanswered. She began to wonder, had she been forgotten? Had Hannah moved on? Maybe she had found a new team, a new best friend, a new life. Every time Nova sat down to write a message, she ended up deleting it. What could she even say? Miss you? I feel like half my heart is gone. I don't know who I am without you. Too much. Too messy. So she said nothing. Instead, she worked harder. She stayed late in the lab. She joined every project. She smiled at her crewmates and told jokes. But the silence inside her grew. One night, after a long shift, Nova sat alone in the greenhouse chamber. The plants grew well under artificial lights. But tonight, she didn't care about the tomatoes or air filters. She just sat in the middle of it all, knees pulled up, hugging herself. She closed her eyes and whispered, Hannah, where did you go? Just then, the door opened. A junior technician walked in, holding a data pad. Nova, sorry to bother you, but there's a strange signal coming in. Small, low bandwidth. Looks personal. It has your ID tag on it. Nova's heart skipped. She jumped to her feet and ran to the comm center. The signal was faint. The screen flickered, but slowly the message loaded. A video. Hannah's face appeared, tired but smiling. Nova, hi. I don't know if this will get through. Our station's been through a lot solar flare. Broken comes, long days. I've wanted to write every day, but the systems were down. I'm so sorry. Nova put her hand over her mouth, holding back tears. I've been missing you so much, Hannah continued. Every star I see, every planet I scan, I think of you. I wonder if you've discovered something new. If you're smiling your little lab smile. I miss our late talks. I miss you. The video glitched, then came back. I'm okay now. We've repaired enough systems to send this. I don't know. If you're still waiting, but if you are, I haven't let go. You're still my star, Nova, always. The screen went black. Nova stared for a long time. Then she slowly sat down, finally letting the tears fall. Not because she was sad, but because she was full again. Hannah remembered Hannah. Still cared. The distance had not broken them. Nova quickly opened a new message file. Her fingers flew across the keys. Hannah, you have no idea how much this means to me. I never stopped waiting. I never stopped believing. I've grown a new kind of plant that filters air better than our current system. I'll name it after. When you return, we'll explore every strange moon together. I promise." She paused, then typed one last line. "No matter how far you go, always find you in the stars." She sent the message. Outside the ship, Saturn's rings kept turning. The stars blinked gently in the dark, and Nova, she stood taller now, because even light years apart, the human heart knew how to find its way home. Through silence, through patience, through love. That was Earth's greatest strength, and not weapons or ships, but connection. HFY. Wasn't just about being strong, it was about staying human, even across the stars. Asterisk. Noah sat alone at his desk on the deep space relay ship EchoStar. Surrounded by blinking lights and soft humming from the communication systems, outside the small window, stars drifted slowly, and a distant planet turned quietly. The ship was silent except for the occasional message pulse. His job was to monitor transmissions between Earth's secret fleet and far colonies. But Noah wasn't listening for orders today. He was listening for a voice. One voice. Camille. They had trained together at the Orbital Academy on Luna. Camille was funny, sharp, and always full of energy. She used to sneak extra desserts from the kitchen and bring them to Noah during long study nights. She said he worked too hard and smiled too little. But when Camille talked, Noah always smiled. Then came the assignment. Camille was selected for the diplomatic team heading beyond known space to make peaceful contact with a new alien culture. It was a huge honor. Earth's leadership believed in her, said Noah. But he hadn't told her how much she meant to him. He thought he had time. She left with a promise. "When I get back, let's watch the stars together." But time passed. No messages came. The fleet said the contact mission had gone dark, no signs of distress, but also no communication. Noah kept waiting. He started volunteering for composts, hoping to one day catch a signal. Yes! That's how he ended up on the EchoStar, floating between sectors, monitoring deep space. Every evening, he played back old recordings of Camille, her voice laughing about zero-gravity training, her thoughts on alien languages, her dreams of making peace, not war.
Oh.
The silence was hard, felt far from everything Earth, friends. And her, he missed her so much, it hurt. One night, Noah looked at the old necklace she gave him, just a small charm shaped like a comet. A reminder, she'd said, that you're meant to fly. He whispered, "Where are you now, Camille?" Then he had an idea. He opened a private channel, not an official one, but a test signal beam. He didn't need permission for that. It wouldn't bother anyone, just a small light in the dark. He recorded a simple message. "Camille, this is Noah. I hope you're okay. I hope you're safe. I miss you. Earth's still here. Still here. If you can hear me, come home or say something." He added one of her favorite songs to the message, soft piano. Peaceful and gentle land launched. The beam. Then he waited. Nothing came back for a week. Then 2. Then 3. But he kept sending it. Every night, just in case. And then, a quiet afternoon, the signal board blinked. Incoming signal, unknown origin. High lag. Noah froze. Tapped the console with shaking fingers. A voice crackled through the speaker, rough with static. "Noah, if this is you, I heard you. I'm alive." His heart leaped. Camille's voice filled the room, faint but real. He made contact. Peaceful, but the return window closed. "We're trying to fix our ship. I didn't know if any messages got through, but your signal, your song, it reached us. I cried when I heard it." Noah smiled, eyes filled with tears. She was alive. She remembered. She still cared. He recorded. A reply immediately. "Camille, I never stopped waiting. I never will. Earth is rising, and I'll keep sending light until you come home." And he meant it, because that's what humans do. They don't forget the ones they love. They wait, they hope, they find a way. Across silence, across stars. The galaxy thought humanity was gone, but it didn't understand what lived inside. Their hearts, a quiet, stubborn fire. One that reaches through darkness. One that always finds its way home.